Hey, what is going on YouTube? Ron here. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day there. And guys, we've got a fun one for you here in today's video. But also in today's video, I've got a little bit of a rant. And that rant is for two reasons. Number one, I've been meaning to do this video for some time now. And number two, we have this highlight of the Wukong here, but I actually forgot to get the stats commander and all of that good stuff. So can't really do a first look video without doing all of that. However, the rant portion of this video, and I'm not going to make it too long because I've stated it in the past, I'm just a little bit tired of these constant reskins. Now this one is actually quite a bit of fun, as you guys will see in this video. The Wukong is basically a Charles Martel on steroids with Deepwater torpedoes and access to a smokescreen. On top of that, you can play with all of the consumables and sort of customize your builds. However, there isn't really a dedicated commander for the ship. You really only have one option in Chang there, which is really tailor-made for the light cruisers and their Deepwater torpedoes, and of course the Torpedo Reload Booster. Out of all of the reskins that we have gotten in this game, I feel like this one is one of the lesser offenders in my opinion, meaning it's a little bit different as opposed to something like the Oyster Yacht Lin W there or the USS Black Bee. And someone did make a good point on one of my videos when I was talking about this topic, where certain ships like the USS Black and others don't come back, or they are only available in that B version. And I can understand that for certain ships that are potentially more rare, but for a ship like the Oyster Yacht Lin W, it is basically the same ship with a white camo that takes up the space in crates, preventing people from getting a potentially more rare or better ship. And to me, that is just lazy content. Now with that being said, I don't mind it in some regards, as aforementioned there. It gives players who maybe missed out on a previous ship a way to get them. It also allows Wargaming to add a few more ships into the game, and we all don't mind more ships. However, in the grand scheme of it, it just seems like lazy content to me. Reskinning a ship 3, 4, 5 times, as we've seen with the Southern, Eastern, Northern, and Western dragons there, and then selling them for $50, $60, $70 without really adding much content throughout the rest of that particular update, again, just seems like a lazy business practice to me. Now, I'm going to play devil's advocate for a few reasons here. Number one, this community complains more than most other gaming communities. It doesn't matter what Wargaming does, the community is going to complain. But number two, it's really not that big of a deal if you just don't let it be. Simply said, if you don't like it, don't buy the ships or don't get involved with it. Now, as I mentioned, it does take away a few of the spots for some potentially more rare ships in crates throughout the years. But that is part of the reason in my credits video that I said not to ever sell ships. So in order to not be that person who constantly complains without offering any solutions, I have a solution here, and you guys let me know in the comments down below if you think it's a good idea, if Wargaming should implement it, and yeah, your thoughts and feelings about the topic as well. Wargaming could implement new ships to the tech tree as a slight addition. Let's use this update as an example with the Pan-Asian cruisers. Wargaming could add in an additional ship to the tech tree line that has already been established. For this example, let's use the ship sort of highlighted this update in the Pan-Asian cruisers. For example, there is a ship on the PC wiki in the Pan-Asian cruiser line, the Irian here, which would fall in a tier 7 potential region in our game, maybe even tier 8, which is not directly correlated to the line. It's a slightly different in the regard that it has 152mm guns and a little bit different characteristics. But you could add that in a separate, slot below the 7 or in between the 7 and 8 there. And once you have completed the tech tree line, you can go back and unlock that separate group of missions that could be completed and make it grindy, right? This is something for my more advanced players. Newer players are typically still enthralled with a lot of the new ships and haven't even worked their way up to some of the more unique lines. Now, everyone and their mother knows Wargaming is never going to do this, but once again, I'm just adding in a few solutions to my complaints. But anyway, let's get to the game that we have in front of us, guys, here highlighting the Wukong. We have a Plymouth in front of us. We just switched to the AP, and we popped one of our 2 reload boosters. We have a main battery reload booster, as well as a torpedo reload booster. And yeah, with one of those salvos, we actually managed to chunk the shit out of that Plymouth there, who we caught broadside. So utilizing our speed and smoke screen there, we actually remained a little bit concealed, moved up with the elimination of that battleship, and caught that Plymouth broadside. And of course, both of those kills were yoinked from me at the last moment. I am really good at getting those fisting ribbons. Let me tell you, I've had a lot of practice there. But despite this ship being one of countless reskins, I have thoroughly enjoyed it. Now, of course, I only have about 2 or 3 games here, and I wish that there was a more dedicated commander, as we have mentioned earlier. However, it just feels good. The reload boosters, the torpedo reload boosters, and the smoke there all give you a touch of a different playstyle, and if you do end up getting this ship, you should be relatively satisfied. Now, that being said, I don't think it's anywhere near the price point of 17,500 doubloons. I believe it is in the store. However, if you do manage to get some crates and get lucky enough to get this thing, she is a ton of fun. Not quite as fast or agile as the Charles Martel, and of course with the loadout of consumables we are running, you do not get an engine boost consumable or a heal. So you can play with those consumables and, like I said, sort of retrofit this ship however you so choose. But keep in mind that without that heal and that agility, if you are not utilizing your smoke screen or island cover, this ship is relatively fragile, similar to the Charles Martel, but again, without the benefits of being fast and agile, as well as potentially having a heal. That being said, you still have enough armor to defend yourself against cruisers that we have done for a majority of this game, and your DPM output is relatively on par with the Charles Martel. I'm not 100% sure of the HE and AP characteristics. Again, I didn't get the stats, so for that I apologize, but it just feels good. As you can see here, we are chunking this anchorage, who is near fully angled. Now you can actually sort of penetrate a butt plate when it is like that. However, trying to get that specific shot at 10 kilometers here, it's just easier to switch to AP. And with the specific build that we were running, I believe our reload is right around 7.6 seconds. Again, I'm not 100% sure on that, but 203 millimeter guns with a 7-second reload. Yeah, the damage output in basically half of a game here with limited targets, as you can see, is pretty good. You couple that with Deepwater torpedoes and reload boosters for both your guns and your torpedoes, which have some decent range. I believe our concealment is 10.1, and our torpedoes, without really any upgrades, also go to 10.1. So with a touch more concealment maybe, or a touch more range, you can actually stealth torpedo in a ship with very powerful guns. Again, coupling that with a smokescreen, and you have yourselves a very, very dangerous DPM platform. Something to note, though, as the GK on my team last night didn't seem to understand that the Pan-Asians have very limited utility in terms of hunting down destroyers. When you have this set of attributes here, you don't really have that much, utility in terms of going after destroyers besides, catching them out of position and chasing them down. You don't have radar, you don't have sonar, and you don't really, and even in this situation, have the speed potentially that the Italian cruisers have to go hunt down destroyers. Let's say you catch them at mid-range there, they smoke up, you can go chase them down, but if they know that you're coming, most destroyers, I believe every destroyer is going to outrun you. So eliminating those capital ships first is going to be a huge priority, and in a game like this, even when your destroyer players aren't necessarily the best, you can still manage to overcome that deficit and get the win for your team. Not everything in this game, though, is all about being ultra competitive, so if you want to go out and do some damage in a different, new, unique, fun platform, well, this is the ship for you. Now, this video is definitely geared more towards my Mega Whales and my Powerball winners, because sitting at, I think, a price point of $70 with a 2% chance in the crates there, you're not really, I wouldn't go out of my way to get this ship, especially if you already have the Charles Martel, the Mines, the Weimar, the Ochakov, or basically any of the other good DPM cruisers at the tier. But that is basically our quick review of the ship without really showing any of the stats. Again, I will try to do a more in-depth detailed review showing you guys my commander selection as well. The purpose of me doing this video is to simply inform the community and garner thoughts from you guys. It is not to incite rage. I feel like you guys, or anyone really, society as a whole today gets so worked up about situations, doesn't offer solutions, and just let it affect you emotionally. If this game bothers you that much, I suggest you take a step back, go outside, and touch grass. Because truthfully, it is not that big of a deal. I just saw a gentleman the other day with a massive rupture in his eardrum who was also bleeding from his ear. I don't think he's worried about the reskin boats in World of Warships Legends. However, it is still something to concern ourselves with, especially, that I do have somewhat of a platform to reach the masses here. So if you guys agree with those sentiments, don't agree, let me know in the comments down below as we actually manage to tick our high caliber and Confederate there as we get a fourth jerk off ribbon and actually get pretty close with the blind fire here. We've been getting really good at that. Chili, I'm coming for that crown, boy. But this is the video here, and this is the Wukong. Are you guys tired of the reskins? I am, a little bit. Again, it doesn't really affect me that much because I just don't play them. If you go through my tier 6 list of ships, I have pretty much every W and B version not selected with a commander because I'm never going to play them. But yeah, that's the video for you guys. Just a little bit different here during update week as we manage a pretty decent game here in the Wukong and, sort of highlighting and showcasing a new ship. So I know that people are going to hate on this video, but bring it on. I love seeing the the uninformed comments in the comment section there. Oh, it is truly a glorious representation of society. No, I'm just kidding. 99% of you guys are Ultra Chad. So I love you guys. You guys have a great day. Let me know if you're getting the ship, you plan on getting it, you hate the reskins, all of that good stuff in the comments down below. Run out. Peace.
So clutch, dude. So clutch. I finally got to steal one. Jojo and Picardy? No. No. Dude, I like this boat, but I don't love that it's a reskin. So, decent team scores. This guy played well. Can't say the same for down here, but that's okay. We won. This guy got 300 on a win. What's my opinion on Grimlock? Grimlock would do okay.